Hey folks, the other week I posted a question, what's more important, motivation or dedication? And I think this one kind of stirred the pot a little bit for a lot of people. Um, it was trying to get into the little bit of the mental aspects, the mindset aspects of training and developing healthy habits. And I think when looking into this question, I think it's first important to kind of define, motivation and dedication and what is their purpose. And for that, I think we have to look into the fact that, motivation is what gets you started, and dedication is kind of what keeps you going. So you kind of can't have one without the other. So it's sort of like a chicken and the egg sort of thing if you want to have success. So the main thing, you can't have dedication if you're not motivated to get started to begin with, right? Um, when you're motivated in the beginning, if you don't develop the dedication, you're not going to be able to create long-term lasting results. So it's really kind of a double-edged sword, if you will, in terms of you need a little bit of both, right? In the beginning, we need to get motivated, and sometimes, especially, it's wintertime now. It's dark. We're all feeling a little bit down, right? We're all feeling a little bit depressed. A lot of a lot of us just want to stay at home in bed, watch TV all day. The motivation is probably the lowest it's been all year, especially with this pandemic going on right now. And so that's really the thing. We need a little kind of light a fire within us and look towards what we want to achieve. And hopefully, with New Year's coming up, that'll ignite a little bit more motivation in all of you moving forward. And what we can do is we can take that motivation, that fire, that desire to make a change in yourself, and we can put it to good use, right? We can start developing what it is going to take you to the next level. So we can start to develop the routines which will enable you to stay dedicated to your goals. And that's really the big thing. We're going to start to develop a routine. So, we can make it so that you know which days you want to train on. You can plan your schedule ahead of time. Okay, I want to train on Mondays at 7. I want to train on Wednesdays at 6. And on Friday, I'm going to do it in the morning because I want to have the evening off and weekends free. In terms of nutrition, you can start planning things out ahead of time as well. You're motivated to get things going, to make that change, to get rid of that, 5 pounds you put on during the lockdown. So, we can use that motivation to go, okay, let's take Sunday evenings and make it for meal prep. So that, you're going to have your lunch made throughout the week so that no matter what, that's taken care of. And, you're one step closer to your nutrition goals. And so help, in order to help you, maybe gain some muscle or lose some fat, whatever it may be for you. And that's really kind of the starting point, is to get that motivation and put it to good use by developing a routine. If we can develop the routine, that will build the dedication. Okay. A lot of us don't think about it, but we're pretty dedicated to brushing our teeth every night before we go to bed, right? It's something we do. It's something we pretty much do all the time. Occasionally you might miss it once in a week, but you're not going to go 2 or 3 days without brushing your teeth. You're dedicated to that. Now, and the reason being is because when you were a kid, your mom and dad were like, hey, go brush your teeth before bed. And it became a routine every night. Okay, I brush my teeth. For a lot of you, every morning or after every meal, brush your teeth. And that's how it develops. You develop a routine, it builds into like the standard practice, you get disciplined with it, it becomes part of what you do. I think discipline is kind of often overused. I think a lot of people think that, you need a strong mental will to keep pushing, to keep going, to keep doing this stuff. But in reality, discipline is just sticking to a solid routine and the ability to do that. And the easier you make that routine, the more likely you are to stick with it. So, we talk often about, stacking habits together. If you lay out your workout clothes the night before, right after you brush your teeth, for instance, right? You're stacking them together. So it's something you do in sequence. it becomes a lot easier to do. For instance, if you make enough food for the next day's lunch, when you make dinner that night, that's stacking kind of a good habit. So we can kind of meal prep. So as you dish up your dinner plate, you're also going to dish up a nice, Tupperware container with your lunch for tomorrow. And this is all part of just getting into that routine, right? And for some of you, I know it's kind of hard to get started. It's hard to stick with some things. For a lot of, I think for a lot of us, many times in life, we started something, we get about halfway done, and then, we kind of forget about it, or we lose that motivation. And because we haven't developed that routine solidly enough, it kind of falls to the wayside. Or if that routine is too difficult to maintain. I know a lot of people, New Year's comes, they're like, I'm going to I'm not going to drink, I'm not going to eat chocolate, I'm not going to have any junk food, I'm going to work out 5 times a week, I'm going to jog 10K around the Ulster every other day. And I mean, this is not sustainable, right? It needs to be sustainable, right? So part of the discipline is the discipline to realize when enough is enough. Okay. So knowing that, okay, if we can train just 2 or 3 times a week, every week for the whole year, that's going to be enough, right? Discipline to know, okay, if I pre-plan my meals, and do my meal prep on the weekends, I'm going to be set up for the week. Or if I make a little bit more foods for dinner, I'm going to have my lunch or my breakfast for the next day type thing. So these are all little things that we can kind of get into that rhythm, get into that routine, and have discipline enough to stick with it. So it even goes into, sleep. If you always go to bed at 11 and wake up at, 7, that's a solid routine, right? And the discipline to stick to that routine is what's going to keep you going long term. So that means, not going to bed at 11:30, 12, 1 o'clock, instead saying, okay, I'm going to commit to 11 and 7. And then so that you're always getting your quality sleep, and that's going to make you feel better in the morning, make you have more energy, make you want to do all the other good things like training hard and having fun. So in terms of what's most important, it's a little bit of both, right? Without the motivation, we wouldn't get started. Without the dedication, we wouldn't keep it going to get that long-term success that we were motivated to get at the beginning, okay? And the key to making both of those work is that once we get started, we develop that routine that will get us there. And, one of the beautiful things about having a coach is that if you don't know what that routine is going to be like, feel free to reach out. I'll be more than happy to sit with you and walk you through everything step by step, so that we can have a nice, clear, simple plan to get you from point A to point B, that you can stick with and be able to develop that routine and keep that discipline to keep going to hit your goal in the long term. All right. So that's my little rant for today. I hope you enjoyed it. I'll post a few more questions. As always, hope to see you soon. Ciao.